Spiritual bypassing is your brain's favorite lie. Love and light can be a beautiful value and a perfect way to dodge pain. That's spiritual bypassing, using spiritual ideas to skip the messy human stuff. It delays healing, breaks trust, and freezes growth while you look calm on the outside. Today, we'll decode the psychology behind it so you can spot it fast and fix it step by step. It'll show you why smart, spiritual people fall for it, the 7 patterns to watch for, and the simple loop that ends it. There's a secret step that makes shadow work 10x easier coming up. Let's get practical right now. The problem: what spiritual bypassing looks. Spiritual bypassing is using spiritual beliefs or practices to avoid facing unresolved emotions, wounds, and responsibilities. The term comes from psychologist John Welwood, and it's stuck because it describes something many of us do with good intentions. The tricky part is it often looks wise. It sounds compassionate. It even feels stabilizing in the moment, but it's avoidance dressed in enlightenment. Here's what it looks like in real life. You get hurt in a relationship, and instead of feeling the anger or grief, you say, "Everything happens for a reason." That sentence can be grounding, but used too soon, it's a lid on a boiling pot. Or a friend gives you feedback and you respond with high vibe only, which is basically a velvet rope against discomfort. You forgive instantly to seem evolved, then resent for weeks. You jump to the silver lining before your body has even registered the bruise. What does that cost you? First, numbness. When you bypass negative emotions, you dampen the whole spectrum. Joy gets quieter too. Second, unstable self-worth. If your value depends on staying above messy feelings, any human moment becomes a threat. Third, intimacy avoidance. Real closeness requires repair, and repair requires acknowledging impact. If you float above it, you never trust anyone to meet you on the ground. Fourth, conflict avoidance. You call it detachment. Other people experience distance, stonewalling, or superiority. There are signals you can spot. In conflict, you shut down then recite mantras. You call detachment non-attachment, but it's really escape. You use phrases like "I am sending love" instead of addressing harm. You feel secretly superior to the asleep people while your nervous system stays on edge. You cling to certainty. Karma will sort it, the universe will deliver, mainly because uncertainty triggers anxiety you don't want to feel. So what's the difference between healthy spirituality and bypassing? Timing, flexibility, and emotional range. Healthy practice expands your capacity to feel and respond. Bypassing shrinks it. Healthy detachment helps you choose your response after feeling. Bypassing detachment blocks feeling so you never need to choose. Healthy forgiveness follows accountability and boundary setting. Bypassing forgiveness skips accountability and calls avoidance grace. Healthy practices are tools you pick. Bypassing is a shield that picks you. Let's run a quick self-audit when something stings. Do I reach for a quote or a breath before I've named my emotion? Do I feel pressure to be above this right now? Do I forgive to avoid a hard conversation? Do I label anger or sadness as low vibe instead of valid signals? Do I use intuition to avoid checking facts or hearing feedback? If you said yes to 2 or more, you're not broken. You're using a defense, and defenses are normal. They protect you from pain that once felt overwhelming. The problem isn't that they work. It's that they keep running even when you're stronger than you used to be. Now you might be thinking, but those phrases actually help me. Totally. The thing most people miss is that helpful tools can become harmful if the sequence is wrong. Everything happens for a reason after you've felt and processed. Centering before you've felt, numbing. Meditation after a hard talk to settle your system. Wise. Meditation instead of a hard talk. Avoidance. Forgiveness after accountability. Healing. Forgiveness to avoid boundaries. Self-betrayal in a robe. Here's a small example. Last week, someone cancelled on you last minute. Bypassing looks like, no worries, it's all divine timing, while your body tightens and you scroll for an hour to calm down. Healthy looks like, I feel disappointed and disrespected, taking 3 slow breaths then sending. When plans change last minute, it disrupts my day. Please give me notice next time or let's reschedule. One keeps you nice. The other builds trust with yourself and them. Why do smart, spiritual people fall for bypassing? Because it offers fast relief with a moral glow. You get certainty, belonging, and the dopamine hit of feeling right. It's not that you're naive, it's that your nervous system is efficient. It learns, this phrase removes discomfort, and it repeats it. That's why we need to understand the defense mechanism stacked behind it. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, so you can see which one your bypass prefers. Before we go there, notice the emotional range test. Healthy spirituality increases your range. Can you feel anger without acting cruel? Sadness without drowning? Fear without freezing? Joy without guilt? If your practice narrows your range to calm and kind only, it's not growth, it's a costume. One more signal: how do you repair? Bypassing delays repair or replaces it with vibes. Healthy repair is concrete. Here's what happened, here's the impact, here's my request. If your relationships cycle through silence, sending love and no changes, that's bypassing at the system level. If this stings, that's good news. It means your system is online. We're not shaming the shield, we're retiring it. Next, well map why your brain loves this lie and how to spot your exact pattern fast. Why your brain loves the lie, the defense mechanism stack. Let's make this simple. Bypassing isn't a character flaw, it's your brain's pain management system wearing a spiritual hoodie. When something threatens your self-image or your sense of safety, your survival circuits kick in: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Each one has a spiritual-looking twin. Fight says I am right and morphs into moral superiority, positivity policing, karma lectures, or subtle shaming of low vibe. Flight says get away and becomes endless retreat, more meditations, more mantras, more content, anything but the hard talk. Freeze says shut it down and you go numb in the name of equanimity. Fawn says keep them happy and you forgive without boundaries, smile, and call it compassion while you abandon yourself. Now stack that on the classic defense ladder: denial, dissociation, rationalization, spiritualization. Denial says I'm not upset. Dissociation says I'm observing, not feeling. Rationalization says it's fine because everything is a lesson. Spiritualization says it's all divine timing, which is a poetic way of saying please don't make me feel this. The thing most people miss is that each rung works in the short term. Denial reduces intensity. Dissociation creates distance. Rationalization gives logic. Spiritualization adds meaning. That combination is powerful anesthesia. Add cognitive dissonance. You see yourself as kind, conscious, and mature. Anger, jealousy, or hurt doesn't fit that story. Dissonance burns, so your mind reaches for beliefs that anesthetize the discomfort. Anger lowers my frequency. If I were evolved, I wouldn't feel this. They're just mirroring my wounds. Those beliefs aren't random, they protect your identity. You're not avoiding the person, you're protecting the picture you have of yourself. And the rewards are sticky. Certainty feels soothing. Belonging, being seen as spiritual, feels safe. Status, the subtle glow of being above drama, hits the dopamine system. The rightness rush is real. You feel coherent, in control, and morally validated. Your nervous system learns, say the mantra, reduce the pain, and it automates the sequence. That's why intelligent, self-aware people can bypass for years. The loop is efficient. But here's the catch: defenses are meant to be flexible, not permanent. When they start running your life, they create exactly what they promise to prevent. Flight promises peace, but isolation grows. Fawn promises connection, but resentment builds. Freeze promises stability, but vitality drops. Fight promises self-respect, but it erodes trust. The short-term sedation becomes long-term suffering. Let me show you how this maps in the body. Threat shows up first in physiology: heart rate up, breath shallow, muscles tense, stomach tight. If you've learned that these sensations mean I am failing at being spiritual, your brain spikes the defense stack to shut them down. You go from sensation to story in seconds. That's why it feels instantaneous. You didn't choose bypassing, your nervous system selected a preloaded script. There's a pattern I see all the time. Someone feels the spark of anger, an energy that used well sets a boundary. Freeze clips the signal, rationalization explains it away, spiritualization wraps it in light. Result, no boundary, same pattern repeats. Then you wonder why you keep attracting the same dynamics. You're not cursed. Your defense stack is stealing the behavioral rep that would change the outcome. Another layer is attentional bias. Once you adopt bypass beliefs, your mind filters for evidence that supports them. You notice quotes about non-attachment, not research on effect labeling. You celebrate how calm you stayed, not the unresolved issue. This keeps the defense stack reinforced. It also distorts feedback. Anyone who challenges the bypass feels unsafe or negative, so you eject them, which removes corrective data and strengthens the bubble. Now here's the useful pivot. Identify your primary survival style in hard moments. If you tend to argue or moralize, fight is your driver, watch for superiority cloaked as purity. If you overconsume practices, flight is running, watch for endless prep with no action. If you go flat and blank, freeze is active, watch for pseudo-equanimity. If you overforgive and overgive, fawn is steering, watch for compassion without clarity. Name it and you get leverage. Why does this matter? Because interventions need to match the defense. Fight needs humility cues and specific impact statements. Flight needs time-boxed practices and a deadline for one concrete behavior. Freeze needs small somatic jolts and a single sentence of truth. Fawn needs boundary scripts and micro-rupture repair reps. When you target the right layer, the stack loosens fast. If you remember nothing else, remember this: defenses are successful solutions to past problems, not current ones. Treat them with respect, then retire them with skill. In a minute, well map the exact bypass patterns you'll spot in yourself, so you can swap anesthesia for agency. The 7 patterns of bypassing you can spot fast. Now let's put names to the moves so you can catch them in real time. I'll give you the why, what, how for each, plus a quick corrective move. Pattern 1, positivity policing. This is the low vibe shaming of normal human feelings. Why it's a problem: it teaches your nervous system that anger, sadness, or fear are threats to your identity, so it suppresses signals you actually need to steer relationships. What it looks like: you or someone else says, "Let's stay positive," right when discomfort shows up and the conversation dies. How to shift: allow 90 seconds of raw sensation, label the exact emotion, irritated, hurt, anxious, then say one clear sentence about impact. Quick line you can use: I am not attacking, I am naming my experience so we can actually fix this. Pattern 2, premature transcendence. The vibe is I am beyond it, which sounds wise but skips grief, anger, or accountability. Why it's sticky: it protects self-image, being above drama while avoiding the risk of being moved by reality. What it looks like: I've already let it go, while your body is tight and your actions still orbit the wound. How to shift: name the unmet need hiding under the calm, validation, repair, clarity, then make one earthly request. Quick line: part of me wants to be over it, the honest part needs a repair conversation. Pattern 3, karma blame. This moralizes suffering to avoid uncertainty and vulnerability. Why it harms: it creates shame in you and contempt in others, it blocks empathy and action. What it looks like: they're attracting that, or this is my lesson, used to end inquiry, not begin it. How to shift: separate cause from responsibility. Label the emotion, shame, fear, helplessness, then identify one concrete behavior within your control. Quick line: whether or not there's a lesson, here's what I'm going to do differently by Friday. Pattern 4, bypass forgiveness. This is sending love instead of setting limits. Why it backfires: without boundaries, forgiveness becomes exposure. You keep touching the hot stove while saying you're healed. What it looks like: I forgive you, with no change of access, expectations, or consequences. How to shift: pair forgiveness with a boundary and a repair plan. Quick line: I'm not holding a grudge and I'm changing how we do this. If X happens again, ill Y. Pattern 5, intuition inflation. Feelings are treated as facts to dodge testing, feedback, or evidence. Why it's risky: it swaps self-connection for certainty, and certainty blinds you. What it looks like: my gut says you're unsafe, delivered as a verdict instead of a hypothesis, or refusing data because it kills the vibe. How to shift: treat intuition as an opening bid, not the final answer. Seek disconfirming evidence on purpose. Quick line: my sense is X. Let's test it with 2 data points. Pattern 6, meditation as numbing. Great practice, wrong job. Why it misfires: meditation regulates arousal, but if you use it to avoid difficult action, your system learns that calm equals safety and conflict equals danger, so you never build conflict skills. What it looks like: sitting for an hour when you owe a 15-minute hard conversation, then calling it clarity. How to shift: time box the practice and link it to one behavioral step. Quick line: 10 minutes to settle, then I send the message. Set a timer, hit send. Pattern 7, manifestation misfire. Magical control replaces tolerating uncertainty and doing the next concrete thing. Why it traps you: repeating affirmations gives a sense of agency without exposure to real feedback, so you don't learn. What it looks like: vision boards, 0 emails, scripting outcomes, no prototypes. I am aligned, but no calendar invites. How to shift: keep your vision, shrink your action to something you can complete today. Quick line: 1 call, 1 email, 1 ask, done before noon. Let me stitch these together with 3 meta-tells you can use as alarms. First, does a phrase end the conversation or open it? If it ends it, let's not be negative. It's all divine timing, that's likely bypass. Second, does your body get quieter and clearer, or flat and foggy? Calm clarity means regulation, flat fog often means freeze. Third, does your relationship get more specific, requests, agreements, or more abstract, principles, vibes? Specificity is growth, abstraction can be a shield. A quick micro story: a client kept saying, I already forgave my dad. But every time dad called, their stomach dropped and they avoided picking up. We swapped forgiveness for a boundary: he'll take calls on Sundays at 2. If you insult mom, he'll end the call. 2 weeks later, fewer insults, 2 real conversations, and actual relief. The bypass felt virtuous, the boundary worked. Now you might be thinking, but sometimes positivity, detachment, intuition, or meditation are healthy. Exactly. The difference isn't the tool, it's the sequence and the function. If the function is to feel, name, and act, green light. If the function is to avoid feeling, avoid naming, or avoid acting, red flag. Here's a fast self-check you can run in 30 seconds. What am I feeling? What am I calling it? What am I doing? If the answers are numb, fine, and nothing, you've likely slipped into one of the 7. No shame, just a cue to shift. Knowing the patterns is half the job. In a moment, it'll show you why your current fixes accidentally feed the loop, and what to do instead. Why your current approach fails and feeds the loop. Let's call out the popular fixes that quietly make bypassing worse. The first is think positive. Positivity isn't bad, suppression is. When you force a positive thought on top of an unfelt emotion, your body treats it like holding a beach ball underwater. It surges back stronger. That rebound happens because physiology loads first. You can outthink a flooded nervous system. You downshift by feeling, then you reframe. Reverse the order and you train your brain to distrust you. Now the observer trap. Mindfulness teaches you to witness thoughts and feelings without fusing with them. Powerful, but over-identifying with the watcher can fragment you. You become a floating camera who never lands in the human who has needs. You say, "I am just noticing anger pass through," but you never translate that anger into a boundary or a request. It feels like spiritual maturity. It's actually relational malnutrition. You end up calm and underfed in the places that require action. Chronic reframing is next. Reframing is useful when it adds context after you've felt the signal. But if you reflexively reframe everything, this is a lesson. It's perfect as it is. You erase valid data your system is sending. Pain often equals information. A misaligned agreement, a missing boundary, a ruptured trust. When you erase the signal, your nervous system learns. Speaking up doesn't matter, and it stops sending clean cues. That's how people lose their gut sense. Not because it's mystical, but because repetition taught the body that signals won't translate into behavior. Advice addiction looks like growth, podcasts, books, workshops. The hidden cost is outsourcing. If you're collecting perspectives but skipping reps, you're borrowing certainty from gurus instead of building skill in the arena. Information doesn't become competence until it passes through your body and into one behavior that meets friction. Without friction, the brain can't update its models. So you keep seeking the one idea that will make action feel safe. That idea doesn't exist. Safety grows from action repair loops, not from quotes. Binary thinking is another quiet fuel source. When you divide experience into low vs high, ego vs soul, you create shame around normal human states. Shame drives secrecy. Secrecy blocks repair. And when you hide, you can't get calibrated by reality. The loop tightens, feel something human, label it low, hide it, don't repair, repeat. Over time, you mistake being untriggered for being healed. They're not the same. Healed means you can be triggered and still respond with clarity. Let me give you the therefores, not just the buts. Think positive feels good now, therefore you repeat it, therefore your body stops trusting you, therefore emotions intensify later. Over-observing keeps you serene now, therefore you avoid the conversation, therefore the relationship erodes, therefore resentment grows. Chronic reframing reduces discomfort now, therefore you ignore the data, therefore the pattern persists, therefore you conclude the lesson isn't learned, doubling down on reframing. Advice addiction gives a dopamine hit now, therefore you skip discomfort, therefore skills don't develop, therefore you need more advice. Binary thinking gives certainty now, therefore you shame parts of you, therefore those parts go underground, therefore they surface sideways. Now here's where most people mess up. They try to fix bypassing with more bypassing. It'll meditate longer. It'll manifest harder. It'll be even more compassionate. These are fine tools used in the wrong sequence. Regulation without action calcifies avoidance. Meaning without movement becomes a lullaby. Even compassion without clarity turns into self-erasure. What actually interrupts the loop is sequence and specificity. Feel first so the body downshifts. Name second so the brain maps the experience. Frame third so the story fits the facts and your values. Act fourth so the nervous system learns. Feeling leads to effective behavior. Most current approaches scramble this order. Frame first, act never, and your system notices the gap. Every time you skip the act, you teach your brain that your words are cheap. That's how self-trust erodes. One more hidden failure, aiming for catharsis instead of capacity. Big releases feel dramatic, but capacity builds from small, repeatable reps under threshold. If your healing regularly floods you, your body tags the work as dangerous and pulls you back into old defenses. Titration, small doses, consistent action, beats intensity. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this: relief isn't repair. Relief reduces arousal. Repair changes the pattern. Most of your current fixes deliver relief. We're about to switch to repair. The better method, Feel Name Frame Act, FNFA. Here's the better method that actually repairs the loop. Feel, Name, Frame, Act, FNFA. It's a simple sequence that integrates emotion, meaning, and behavior so your nervous system relearns. Feeling leads to clarity, then to movement. We'll run through why each step matters, what it is, and exactly how to do it in real life. First, feel why this matters. Physiology fires before story. If you skip your body, you'll reach for a spiritual idea to kill the discomfort. Feeling for 60-90 seconds drops amygdala load and gives your prefrontal cortex a shot at coming online. What it is, permission, not performance. You're not trying to feel right, you're allowing what's already there. How to do it? Notice 3 sensations without commentary: tight chest, hot face, fluttery stomach. Let the wave crest and settle. Keep your breath low and slow, especially your exhale. If you need a cue, try sensation first, explanation later. Second, name, why it matters. Precise labels reduce emotional intensity and increase choice. Vague labels keep you stuck. What it is, affect labeling with granularity, swap upset for irritated, dismissed, or anxious. The brain maps specificity to better regulation. How to do it, pick 3 words and rate each 10. If you're a blank, scan a short list: anger family, fear family, sadness family, shame family. Accuracy beats eloquence. A quick checkpoint: if your label drifts into a story, betrayed because they always, pull it back to 1 word. Third, frame, why it matters. Meaning without feelings bypasses, feelings without meaning overwhelm. Frame gives your experience context anchored in values, not metaphysical cliches. What it is, a short sentence that links the event to what matters to you now. How to do it, use this template. Given that I value X and I'm feeling Y about Z, the principle that applies is A. Example: I value respect. I'm feeling irritated about the late cancellation. The principle is mutual consideration. Avoid spiritual generalities like, the universe is teaching me patience. That's fine later. Right now you need a usable lens. Fourth, act, why it matters. Behavior updates the nervous system. Without action, your brain learns that your insights don't lead to safety. What it is, a concrete move within 24 hours that aligns with your frame, boundary, repair request, or a next step task. How to do it, write a 1-sentence script or micro-commitment and put it on your calendar. Keep it tiny. If it requires courage, make it smaller until you can do it today. Example, text to reschedule with a request for 24-hour notice. Hit send. Now here's the glue most people miss: sequence integrity. If you flip the order, frame before feel, act without name, yowl slide back into bypass or blow past the signal. FNFA is linear for a reason. Body downshifts, brain maps, mind orients, behavior updates. Repeat this loop and your system learns a new association. Discomfort predicts clarity and effective movement, not avoidance. Let me walk you through a lived example. A teammate misses a deadline. Feel, the body goes tight around the jaw and chest. You ride the wave for a minute. Name, irritated 6:10, anxious 4:10, disappointed 5:10. Frame, I value reliability. Missed deadlines create downstream stress. The principle is clear expectations. Act, send, hey, when deadlines slip without heads up, our launch stalls. Going forward, message me 24 hours before if you're off track so we can adjust. That's it, no sermon, no vibe policing, just a boundary aligned with values. Common mistakes to avoid inside FNFA: turning feel into analysis, stay with sensations; turning name into narrative, keep it to words; turning frame into cosmic poetry, anchor to values and context; turning act into an essay, 1 sentence, 1 request, 1 boundary. Another trap is waiting for perfect regulation before acting. Don't aim for under-threshold action. You're steady enough, not spotless. A micro story: a student kept reframing tough feedback as a chance to grow, but never responded to the actual ask. We ran FNFA. He felt the hot shame, named it accurately, framed it as I value accuracy and impact, and acted by booking a 15-minute calibration call. He slept better and delivered a cleaner draft. The shift wasn't mystical, it was sequential. If you remember nothing else, sensations before sentences, words before wisdom, values before visions, action before affirmation. Run FNFA once a day on small frictions and it compounds. Your brain stops craving the anesthesia of bypass because it trusts you to move. Implementation, the 10-minute daily practice. Let's make FNFA automatic with a simple 10-minute loop YAL actually do. It's 5 blocks of 2 minutes each. No journaling marathons, no cosmic essays, just clean reps that teach your brain a new pattern: feel, name, frame, act. Block 1, 2 minutes, body scan, no narrative, sit or stand, eyes soft. Notice breath, heartbeat, temperature, pressure, and muscle tone. Pick 3 spots and cycle attention: chest, throat, belly. Let your exhale lengthen slightly, 4 in, 6 out. If thoughts show up, fine, but don't follow them. Treat each sensation like a bell, note it, return. If you're fidgety, that's still data. The point isn't calm, it's contact. You're priming the feel step without adding story. Block 2, 2 minutes, emotion labeling. Grab 3 words and rate them 10. Use a short menu if you blank. Anger family, annoyed, frustrated, resentful; fear family, anxious, nervous, worried; sadness family, disappointed, lonely, grief; shame family, embarrassed, inadequate, exposed. Granularity matters. Annoyed 6, anxious 3, disappointed 4, beats upset. Precision reduces amygdala load and increases choice. If your label turns into a paragraph, you've left naming and entered framing. Pull back to 1 word per feeling. You're training specificity like a muscle. Block 3, 2 minutes, need finding. Ask, given these emotions, what need is underneath. Keep it simple: safety, respect, clarity, rest, repair, space, support, fairness. Pick 1 or 2. If you're annoyed, maybe you need clarity or fairness. If you're anxious, maybe you need certainty or support. If you're disappointed, you might need repair or acknowledgement. This isn't a life story, it's a quick inventory so your later action matches reality. Most bypass happens because needs stay unnamed. Name them here so your system stops guessing. Block 4 2 minutes framing. Write one values-based sentence. Use this template. I value X, I'm feeling Y about Z. The principle is A. Example. I value reliability. I'm feeling irritated about the missed call. The principle is mutual consideration. Keep it concrete, no metaphysical slogans. You're A not denying bigger perspectives. You're A choosing a frame that drives behavior today. If you notice yourself drifting into cosmic poetry, shorten it. Aim for under 20 words. Brevity forces clarity. Block 5 2 minutes action micro-commitment. Pick one behavior you can complete in the next 24 hours. Make it so small it's slightly embarrassing. Text, can we reschedule with 24-hour notice? Draft a boundary. If X happens, Y, schedule a repair call. Send one email. Ask one clarifying question. Put it on your calendar with a time. If you feel dread, shrink the action until it's doable. Action is the signal your nervous system trusts. Without it, the loop collapses back into bypass. Common mistakes to avoid. First, journaling spirals. Writing can help, but 2 minutes means 2 minutes. Set a timer. If you find yourself analyzing motives or rewriting history, return to the template. Second, doom scrolling between blocks. That hijacks your arousal and scrambles the loop. Keep your phone away for 10 minutes. Third, skipping action. You'll be tempted to stop after a satisfying frame. Don't. No act, no update. Fourth, using the practice as a way to avoid a conversation. Remember, regulate, then relate. The loop prepares you for contact. It doesn't replace it. Let me give you a realistic 10-minute run-through. Morning, you notice tension thinking about a teammate. Block 1, breath slows, chest tight, jaw tense, hands cool. Block 2, irritated 5, anxious 3, disappointed 4. Block 3, needs clarity, reliability. Block 4, I value reliability. I am irritated about slipping deadlines. Principle, clear expectations. Block 5, calendar message at 10 a.m. When deadlines slip without heads up, I'll launch stalls. Please ping me 24 hours before if you're off track so we can adjust. 10 minutes, done. You'll feel a small lift because you converted feeling into movement. Now, how do you fit this daily? Pick a consistent anchor time, after coffee, before email, or right after lunch. Consistency beats intensity. Do it once a day on tiny frictions, not just crises. That's how you build capacity. On heavy days, you might run 2 loops, morning to orient, evening to repair. If you miss a day, don't pay a shame tax. Restart with the smallest possible rep the next day. 2 quick upgrades when you have extra time. Add a somatic bridge before the act if you're stuck. 20 seconds of paced exhale or a brief orienting scan around the room. Then do the behavior. And track 3 metrics: number of days completed, emotional granularity score, the average number of distinct labels, and action rate, the percentage of days with a completed behavior. You want upward trends, not perfection. A micro story. A manager ran this loop each morning for a week. On day 3, he realized his calm was freeze. He named resentful 6, framed I value directness, and sent one boundary message. 2 weeks later, fewer fire drills, better sleep. Not because he became more spiritual, but because he practiced sequence. Bottom line, 10 minutes teaches your brain that discomfort predicts clarity and small action. That's the opposite of bypass. Run the loop daily, and the old anesthetics start to feel unnecessary. Application: debypassing each pattern with FNFA. Let's plug each bypass pattern straight into FNFA so you can flip avoidance into movement in minutes. Same loop, different emphasis. Positivity policing. Feel, give anger or sadness 90 clean seconds. Let heat, tightness, or heaviness rise and fall without correcting it. Name: angry 5, hurt 6, anxious 3. Frame: I value honesty and respect. Positivity without truth blocks repair. Act: 1 boundary sentence. I want a real conversation, not a positivity blanket. Here's the impact, and here's what I'm asking. If you get told you're a negative, repeat: clarity isn't negativity, it's how we fix this. Premature transcendence. Feel, let grief ache in the chest or throat. Name: grief 7, disappointment 5, longing 4. Frame: I value attachment and truth, I am not beyond this imminent. Act: share 1 story detail with a trusted person or the person involved. Karma blame. Feel, notice the churn of shame or fear in your belly, breathe down and out. Name: shame 6, fear 4, helplessness 3. Frame: I value accountability without self-attack, moralizing blocks learning. Act: write a 3-step repair plan you can begin within 24 hours. By Friday, I'll apologize for my part, clarify expectations, and calendar check-in. Bypass forgiveness. Feel, let the jittery edge of fear or the heat of anger have space. Name: fear 5, anger 4, sadness 3. Frame: I value self-respect and repair, forgiveness without limits equals exposure. Act: pair forgiveness with access changes. I am not holding a grudge and I am changing contact to Sundays at 2. If insults happen, I'll end the call. Intuition inflation. Feel, notice the certainty rush that says, I am right. Name, anxiety 5, urgency 4, conviction 6. Frame, I value accuracy and humility. Intuition starts the inquiry, not ends it. Act, seek one disconfirming data point and one feedback source. Meditation as numbing. Feel, note the calm that's actually flatness, low energy, foggy focus. Name, numb 6, avoidance 5, dread 4. Frame, I value connection and courage. Regulation should fuel action. Act, time box, then contact. 10 minutes of breath, then I send the message. Manifestation misfire. Feel, let the flutter of uncertainty live. Name, uncertain 6, hopeful 4, procrastinating 5. Frame, I value agency and iteration. Vision plus microaction beats magical control. Act, one next best step before noon, call, email, prototype, ask. Now let me add somatic bridges tailored to each. For positivity policing and fight energy, try a paced exhale, 4 in 8 out before speaking. For premature transcendence and grief, allow 2 sighs and a hand on the chest. For karma, blame and shame orient, turn your head slowly, name 5 neutral objects. For bypass, forgiveness and fawn, hum for 30 seconds, then deliver the boundary. For intuition inflation, splash cool water or stand up before testing hypotheses. For meditation, numbing and freeze, do 30 seconds of shaking, then the call. For manifestation, misfire and flight, pick up something heavy for 10 breaths, then 1 email. If you remember nothing else here, FNFA plus 1 matched somatic bridge turns a bypass into a behavior. Feel it, name it, frame it, act it, tiny today. Somatic bridges, getting unstuck in the body. Your body is the front door. Emotion starts as physiology, pressure, heat, speed, then becomes story. Shift state first, then run FNFA. When state changes, choice returns. Why this works? Signals travel bottom up. Interoception feeds the amygdala and insula before your thinking brain weighs in. Gentle state shifts reduce arousal enough for accurate naming and cleaner framing. You're not erasing feelings, you're right-sizing them so behavior is possible. 5 reliable tools. Orienting, slowly turn your head and eyes, naming 5 neutral objects. Window, chair, blue mug, plant, book. Use it for shame collapse or spinny overwhelm. 30 to 60 seconds is enough. Paced exhale, inhale for 4, exhale for 6 to 8, lightly pursing your lips. Use it when fight energy surges and words want to slam out. Vagal humming, hum for 30 to 60 seconds, feeling vibration around the throat and chest. Use it before boundaries when your voice shakes or you fawn. Cold splash, rinse your face with cool water for 10 to 20 seconds, or hold a cool pack to your cheeks. Use it when panic spikes. Shaking, shake arms, legs, shoulders for 30 to 60 seconds, loose, bouncy. Use it when you feel numb, foggy, or stuck to the chair. Match the tool to the state. Fight, paced exhale or orient. Flight, heavy exhale, quick orient, then pick up something heavy for 10 breaths. Freeze, shaking or brisk marching for 30 seconds, then name 1 concrete truth out loud. Fawn, hum, swallow once, then practice your boundary line quietly before you say it. Protocol, 3-minute reset, then move. 1 minute to pick, 90 seconds to run, 30 seconds to recheck and choose your line. Then immediately run FNFA's act step. Don't overcook the reset. Regulation is a prelude, not a performance. Common mistakes, ritualized avoidance, chasing sensation highs, using somatics to erase anger or grief. The metric is behavior. Did you send the message, ask the question, or set the limit? Mnemonic, OPHCS, orient, pace, hum, cold, shake. 1 minute each is plenty, pick 1 or 2, then FNFA. Boundaries without bypassing, scripts that work. This is where FNFA turns into sentences that actually land. Boundaries without bypassing are simple, specific, and delivered in a neutral tone. No moralizing, no vibes, just clarity. Think structure over speeches. The structure is 4 beats: observation, impact, request, consequence. Say what happened, how it affects you, what you want instead, and what you'll do if it repeats. Keep it short enough to remember under stress. Here's the core template. When X happens, I feel Y because Z. Going forward, I am asking for A if X happens again. I'll do B. You can tweak words, but keep the beats. It protects you from exploding, apologizing, or drifting into spiritual fog. Family example, lateness with minimizing. Observation, you've arrived 30 minutes late the last 3 dinners. Impact, it puts the kids to bed late and my night gets chaotic. Request, please text me an hour ahead if you're running behind. Consequence, if there's no heads up, well, start dinner without waiting. That's it. No lecture on values, no karma lessons, just the boundary. Work example, missed updates. Observation, the status report didn't land before stand-up. Impact, I had to guess and the plan slipped. Request, ping me by 4 p.m. if you're off track. Consequence, if I don't get a ping, I'll reassign tasks at 5. Notice specific times, specific actions. You're teaching the system how to succeed with you. Relationship example, sarcasm during conflict. Observation, during arguments you joke about my feelings. Impact, I shut down and the issue lingers. Request, I want us to stick to the topic without sarcasm. Consequence, if it happens, I'll pause the conversation and resume tomorrow. Calm, kind, firm. No diagnosis, no you're unsafe, just a workable container. Now the spiritual guilt diffuser for the inevitable you're being low vibe or you should forgive. Use a simple pair of lines. First, normalize and re-anchor. Clarity isn't negativity, it's how we repair. Then state your lane. I am not moralizing you, I'm telling you what it'll do. If they push, real love doesn't need boundaries. Use, love and limits travel together. This is a limit. Repeat once, then enact the consequence. Boundaries are taught by follow-through, not philosophy. Delivery matters. Neutral tone beats righteous tone. Short sentences beat essays. Present tense beats future promises. And put numbers on vague terms. Replace sooner with 24 hours. Respectful with no name-calling. More reliable with Thursday by noon. Self-boundaries are the scaffolding that keep you from bypassing your own plan. 3 that pay off fast. Tech limits. Phone stays in the kitchen from 10 to 7. Rumination caps. If I'm looping, I get one 5-minute timer, then I write one action or I move. No last-minute rescues. If a request lands after 5 p.m., I answer tomorrow. These keep your nervous system out of heroic fawn or flight spirals. Let me show you how FNFA feeds the script in real time. Feel, heat in the face, jaw tight. Name, irritated 6, anxious 3. Frame, I value reliability, sarcasm blocks repair. Act, when sarcasm shows up, I shut down and we don't resolve the issue. I am asking we skip sarcasm and stick to the topic. If it comes up again, I'll pause and resume tomorrow. One breath, delivered. Common mistakes to avoid, stacking 3 issues in one boundary, smuggling judgment words. Always, never, immature, or adding cosmic meaning, this is my sole lesson. Keep the lens tight and behavioral. Another mistake, asking a question instead of making a request. Can you not be late? Invites debate. Please text me by 5 if y'all be late, creates a clear success path. Finally, threatening consequences you won't keep. If you won't end the call, pick a consequence y'all actually do. I'll mute for 5 minutes and come back. If you need a warm start, use a bridge. I want this to work and I need to be clear. Then run the 4 beats. If they escalate, you don't. If they deflect, you're so controlling, return to the request once. I am asking for 24-hour notice. If the loop continues, enact the consequence and exit cleanly. That's not punishment, it's containment. A quick micro story. A client kept telling her brother, I forgive you, after last-minute money asks, then resenting him. We swapped to, I'm not lending money with less than 1 week's notice. If you ask inside a week, I'll say no. 2 months later, 0 surprise asks. Relationship karma, self-respect up. No sermon required. Remember, the purpose of a boundary is not to control others. It's to teach your nervous system that you will protect your values. Short, specific, neutral, enacted. That's growth, not vibes. Measuring real growth, not vibes. Make progress measurable so your brain buys in. Track 3 lanes: emotions, relationships, and body. Keep the metrics few and behavioral. Emotions, emotional granularity score. How many distinct feeling words you labeled during FNFA. Aim for 3, 6 and trend up. Recovery time from trigger to steady enough to act. Shrinking toward under 30 minutes is capacity. Action rate, % of days you completed an act within 24 hours. Target 70% plus. Relationships, boundary reps week, clear requests or limits using observation, impact, request, consequence. Aim to 5. Repair speed, how long until someone initiates repair, compress days to hours. Watch asks move from vague, be respectful, to concrete, no sarcasm, stick to topic, pause if heated. Body, sleep latency, time to fall asleep, usually drops as boundaries and repairs improve. Resting tension, daily jaw shoulders gut rating trending down. Urge duration, how long the compulsion to scroll / overwork / send love lasts, trend down. Weekly reflection, 15 minutes. Stop 1 bypass habit, do 1 tiny behavior, continue 1 helpful practice. Tag a monthly theme to focus your reps. Data hygiene, look for trend lines, not perfection. Use rolling averages, 3-7 days. Don't grade vibes, grade behaviors. Pitfalls, perfectionism, comparison, data hoarding, outcome attachment. The metric is, was I clear, specific, and consistent, not did they love it. Simple scoreboard, GRATARBRRSSL. Update briefly, act on what stalls. Advanced pitfalls, when healing becomes a new bypass. This is where it gets sneaky. Once you start doing the work itself can turn into a bypass. Same defenses, fancier packaging. Let's name the traps so you can step around them. Healing identity is first. You start collecting modalities, ifs on Monday, breathwork Tuesday, inner child Wednesday, until healer or trauma nerd becomes your new self-image. Why it's a problem, identity can replace implementation. You talk about parts, cycles, and patterns, but your week still has 0 clear requests, 0 boundaries, and the same ruptures. The subtle payoff is status and belonging, the cost is reps. Antidote, minimum effective dose. Pick one modality for 90 days and measure behaviors, not insights. If the number of weekly boundaries and repairs isn't increasing, you're learning about healing instead of healing. Overprocessing is next. You dive deep for long without titration. You expect catharsis to equal change. Flooding feels like progress, but your nervous system tags it as danger and drags you back to old defenses. The pattern, cry hard, vow big, act little. Then shame spikes and the cycle restarts. Antidote, reps over rabbit holes. Cap sessions, underdose intensity, overdose frequency. 10 minutes of FNFA daily beats 2-hour excavations on Sunday. Keep one foot in the present. After any heavy session, schedule a small relational behavior, text, request, repair inside 24 hours. Anchor insight to action before the emotional high fades. Shadow work exhibitionism is another detour. You publicly share every wound, thinking visibility equals integration. Online applause gives you a relief hit, but your real relationships still lack repair. The bypass is performance over practice. Antidote, private first, public maybe. A simple rule, no posting a share before one in-person repair or boundary tied to the same issue. And check function. Am I sharing to build contact where it matters or to get reassurance from strangers? Over-detachment comes in disguised as mastery. You're calm, spacious, unbothered, so unbothered you forget to need anything. The glow is alluring, but partners experience you as unavailable. Needs don't vanish, they go underground and leak as sarcasm, procrastination, or moral superiority. Antidote, reattach to 2 concrete needs per week and ask for them out loud. Use direct language. I need a 15-minute heads up. I want reassurance after tough meetings. Calm is not an identity, it's a state. If your calm blocks contact, it's bypass. Another pitfall, turning somatics into ritualized avoidance. You can't send an email without a perfect nervous system. The ritual grows, action shrinks. Antidote, time box regulation and place action in the middle. 10 breaths, 1 message, then you can breathe again. State serves behavior, not the other way around. Hyperanalysis of motives is a quiet trap. You won't act until you've purified your intention. That's spiritual perfectionism. Meanwhile, the person waiting for your repair hears silence. Antidote, good enough intention. Use this line, I might be 60% clean, I am acting anyway. Then review after. Modality shopping is just advice addiction with incense. If your bookshelf expands while your discomfort conversations don't, you're bypassing with education. Antidote, a purchase rule. No new course until you've logged 12 FNFA acts tied to the last one. Skills over shelves. Self-compassion as anesthesia is another one. You speak so gently to yourself that accountability evaporates. Compassion reduces shame. It shouldn't erase responsibility. Antidote, pair the warm hand with a firm step. Of course this was hard and I am sending the boundary by noon. Compassion plus consequence is growth. Community echo chambers can turn healing into dogma. Everyone you follow agrees that high vibe is health. Feedback that challenges you gets labeled unsafe. You lose calibration. Antidote, build a dissent channel. One friend or mentor who's allowed to disagree and who you promise to not eject when they do. Once a month, bring them one situation and ask, where am I avoiding? Tracking can also become a bypass. Spreadsheets, color codes, 0 change. Antidote, track fewer metrics and tie each to a behavior. Granularity goes up. Great, show me the boundary that used your new label. Sleep latency down. Great, what repair reduced it? Finally, overowning. You take radical responsibility for everything and quietly absolve others to avoid confrontation. It looks mature, it's fawn with philosophy. Antidote, shared responsibility statements. Here's my part, and here's the part I need you to own. Then ask for a specific behavior. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember minimum effective dose, reps over rabbit holes, and real-world tests. Healing is what survives contact. Keep the loop small, keep the actions concrete, and let outcomes, not aesthetics, grade your growth. Micro stories, quick wins from real practice. Client first, she lived by love and light, which really meant never rock the boat. Every conflict with her sister ended in airy forgiveness and private rage. We ran FNFA, feel hot cheeks, tight throat. Name angry 6, hurt 7. Frame, I value respect. Act a repair text, when you joke about my job I feel dismissed. Please skip jokes about work. 2 weeks later, fewer jabs, Sunday calls felt lighter. Student next, he used meditation as a shield. We time-boxed regulation and placed action in the middle. Feel num 5 name, shame 6. Frame, I value connection. Act 10 minutes breath then. When you get quiet after I share, I feel alone. Can we reflect back one thing we heard? They resolved a small issue that night and he slept through. Manage a story. He moralized setbacks as team karma. We swapped karma blame for structure. Feel, irritated 5. Name, frustration 6. Frame, I value reliability. Act, weekly loop. Fridays at 3, 1 win, 1 block, 1 request. By week 3, fewer surprises and better sleep. Another client, classic bypass forgiveness with her dad. We paired forgiveness with limits. Feel, fear 6. Name, anxious 5. Frame, I value self-respect. Act, calls Sundays at 2. If you insult mom, ill in the call. Third call, 20 minutes, no insults. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Feelings first, stories second, then one tiny behavior in 24 hours. For repair, when X happens, I feel why I am asking for Z for boundaries. If X happens, I'll do Y for spiritual guilt. Clarity isn't negativity, it's how we repair. Micro challenge. Run 1 FNFA loop on the smallest friction today and complete 1 action before bed. Small reps compound. Your 30-day anti-bypass plan. Let's lock this into a month that trains trust. 4 weeks, each with a clear focus, tiny reps and 1 accountability lever. Keep it simple, track the right signals, and use FNFA plus somatic bridges as your daily spine. Week 1 is foundations. Your job is to install the 10-minute FNFA loop once a day, no exceptions, and start measuring 3 metrics: emotional granularity, recovery time, and action rate. Each morning, run the 5 2-minute blocks you learned. Aim for 3 distinct labels per day minimum. If you're a blank, use the short menu we covered. For recovery time, note when a trigger hits and when you're steady enough to act. Don't judge, just log. For action rate, your goal is 5 completed acts in 7 days. If 10 minutes feels like too much, do 5, but finish with an action. Add 1 somatic tool you like, paste exhale or orienting, and pair it before any boundary or repair. End the week with a 15-minute review. Stop 1 bypass habit you noticed, do 1 small change next week. Continue the practice that helped most. Week 2 is pattern targeting. Pick 2 bypass patterns you actually run, maybe positivity policing and meditation as numbing. For each, write a single FNFA line you'll use when it pops. For positivity policing, your act line could be, clarity isn't negativity, here's the impact and request. For numbing, 10 minutes breath, then I send the message. Add 1 match somatic bridge to each. Paste exhale before naming anger, shaking before hard conversations if you freeze. Your metric this week is boundary reps. Aim for 3 to 5 specific requests or limits using the structure, observation, impact, request, consequence. Also track repair speed. When a rupture happens, start a repair within 24 hours. If that feels fast, script it Sunday night so you can send it midweek. Keep the daily FNFA loop, keep the act within 24 hours, and keep your actions embarrassingly small. Week 3 is boundary practice in 2 domains, work and 1 personal relationship. Pre-write 2 scripts per domain using the 4-beat structure. Example for work, when status slips, I guess and our plan stalls. Ping me by 4 p.m. if you're off track. If I don't get a ping, I'll reassign at 5. Example for home, when sarcasm shows up, I shut down. Let's stick to the topic. If it happens, I'll pause and resume tomorrow. Run a 3-minute somatic reset before each delivery, hum or exhale, then deliver in a neutral tone. Measure boundary reps again, and watch for your sleep latency and urge duration to shift down. If delivery nerves spike, time box, 3 breaths, 1 sentence, done. If you wobble, repeat the line once and enact the consequence. The aim is consistency, not eloquence. Week 4 is calibration and upgrade. Pull your 6 metrics: granularity average, recovery time, action rate, boundary reps, repair speed, sleep latency. Spot the weakest link. If granularity is flat, spend an extra minute on naming. If repair speed lags, draft 2 repair texts Sunday. If sleep latency hasn't budged, add a 3-minute pre-bed somatic bridge. Choose 1 upgrade focus for the week, clarity, boundaries, repairs, or regulation, and build 3 specific reps around it. Add an accountability buddy. Share your focus and your 3 reps on Monday, and send a Friday check-in with what you did and what you learned. Keep the daily FNFA loop, and do 1 end-of-month reflection using stop, do, continue. Set your theme for next month based on the weakest link you found. Here's your relapse plan, because regression is part of learning. Red flags, you're back to cosmic reframes, your action rate dips below 50%, or you start needing perfect calm before contact. Reset routine, run a 3-minute somatic bridge, do 1 5-minute FNFA, send 1 courageous microaction in 24 hours, text, ask, or boundary. Then restart your daily loop tomorrow. No shame tax, no catch-up marathons. If you remember nothing else for the next 30 days, remember this: 1 loop, 1 boundary, 1 repair, repeated. Small, specific, steady. That's how you make bypass unnecessary. Key takeaway: spiritual bypassing is a defense that trades short-term relief for long-term stuckness. Integration means feel it, name it, frame it, then act. If this helped, subscribe for the Advanced Boundary Workshop dropping next, and watch the Emotional Granularity Deep Dive to sharpen your labeling muscle. Run one FNFA loop today and send one boundary or repair by tonight. End here, go act. Appendix, Evidence and Sources Snapshot. Let's anchor this work to what research and established clinical frameworks actually say, so your brain knows we're not winging it. Origin first. The term spiritual bypassing was coined by psychologist John Welwood in the early 1980s within transpersonal psychology. He observed a pattern: people using spiritual beliefs and practices to skirt unresolved emotional pain, intimacy challenges, or developmental tasks. That framing matters because it places bypass inside the family of defenses, useful in the short term, costly if chronic. Defense mechanisms next. Classic psych outlines a ladder. Denial ignores the problem. Dissociation disconnects experience from awareness. Rationalization supplies neat explanations after the fact. Spiritualization adds metaphysical gloss that justifies avoidance. This isn't pathologizing spirituality, it's recognizing that any belief system can be recruited by the defensive stack when discomfort spikes. That's why we work to sequence FNFA to root around the stack instead of arguing with it. Affect labeling is your science-backed name step. Multiple experiments show that putting precise words to feelings reduces amygdala reactivity and increases prefrontal engagement, which supports regulation and choice. The gist: specificity lowers intensity. That's the rationale for emotional granularity, moving from upset to irritated, dismissed, or anxious. Better maps, better moves. Somatic regulation has strong support across psychophysiology. Slow, extended exhalations shift autonomic balance toward parasympathetic tone. Orienting the eyes and head toward neutral cues helps the midbrain downshift threat detection. Gentle vocalization like humming can stimulate vagal pathways and smooth heart rate variability. Brief facial cooling taps a mild dive reflex that blunts acute arousal. Light shaking interrupts freeze and mobilizes energy. The takeaway isn't magic, it's state first, story second. Small state shifts make accurate naming and clean behavior possible. Trauma and stress research support the idea that the body keeps the score. Unprocessed stress shows up as persistent arousal patterns. That's why we target short, frequent practices over epic catharsis. Titrated exposure with quick actions builds capacity without flooding. Behavior change principles back the act within 24 hours rule. Tiny, time-bound commitments increase follow-through, while long delays erode it. Implementation intentions, the if X then ill Y structure you use for boundaries, are linked to higher completion rates because they predecide behavior in context. Your nervous system learns from enacted predictions, not from affirmations. Cognitive dissonance theory explains why bypass feels so good short-term and derails you long-term. When actions and values clash, your brain wants relief. One fast route is to change the story, it's all for a reason. Another is to change the behavior, repair request boundary. Story-first relief preserves the clash, behavior-first relief resolves it. FNFA leans into dissonance just enough to act your way back into alignment. On social rewards, certainty, status, and belonging release dopamine. In spiritual communities, high vibe or forgiveness can carry status. That's reinforcing. We're not demonizing groups, we're highlighting the reinforcement schedule that can keep avoidance running. The counterweight is tracking real-world metrics, sleep latency, repair speed, so your brain craves outcomes over optics. Boundaries in communication. Brief, specific, behavior-focused scripts reduce defensiveness compared to global trait attributions. The structure, observation, impact, request, consequence maps to nonviolent and assertive communication research. Describe behavior, state effects, make a concrete ask, name your action. Shorter scripts are remembered and delivered more reliably under stress. Limitations matter. These practices are skills, not substitutes for clinical care. If trauma symptoms are severe, flashbacks, dissociation that impairs function, major depression, work with a licensed clinician. FNFA and somatic tools complement therapy by adding daily reps and concrete behaviors between sessions. Measurement choices weigh at random. Emotional granularity is linked to resilience and flexible regulation. Recovery time is a practical proxy for capacity. Action rate keeps you honest about finishing the loop. Relationship metrics, boundary reps, and repair speed reflect attachment health in practice. Body markers like tension and sleep latency are low-drama indicators that often shift when boundaries and repairs improve. One more nuance: spiritual practices themselves aren't the problem. Meditation, prayer, service, and reframing can deepen integration when used after contact with feeling and paired with behavior. The sequence is the safeguard. Feel, name, frame, act. then meaning and spirituality can widen perspective without erasing needs. So the model you've learned pulls from Welwood's original observation, classic defense theory, affect labeling research, psychophysiology of regulation, cognitive dissonance, and behavior change science. It's stitched into a single loop you can run daily. The reason it works is boring and reliable. State shifts enable accurate mapping. Accurate mapping guides aligned actions. Repeated aligned actions retrain prediction and trust. That's integration, not bypass.